Hello, I'm Miss French. You're welcome to call me Stina if you prefer. That's what I go by usually. And welcome to our 122 English class. This is a class that's focused on research writing. I want to lead you through our course website and sort of go through our course syllabus together. I'm not going to read all of this to you word for word. That would make for a very long and boring video. We're not going to do that, but I want to highlight a few things for you and make sure we're all on the same page here at the beginning. So if you look at our course homepage, which is where you obviously are if you're watching this video, you will see the video. And if you scroll down, you will see a few news items. The first one is just reminding you that we're sort of hitting the ground running, and that means you need your texts now. You can't wait to get them. And it's begging you to please read the syllabus word for word. So let me know if you have any questions about the syllabus and schedule. There's a place in the discussions area over here. If you click discussions, you end up here. There's an area in Q&A where I've asked you to come up with a question about the syllabus or schedule. And so you can let me know there if you have any confusions or questions. Back to the home page. I have posted this other news item, which is research guidance, which has sort of a compilation of all of the main research tools I'm giving you this semester. One is a research tutorial that I came up with some screenshots leading you through the research process. One, of course, is the library homepage, which has, if you go over here, a link to all of these databases. We'll be spending a lot of our time with the research for this course in these databases. If you look here on the main library page, which I've linked you to back in that news item, you get this chatbot over here, which is so cool. 24 hours a day, there's a real live librarian who will answer your questions and help you find sources. So if you ever get stuck, one thing I want you to remember here from the very beginning, if you ever get stuck with your research process in this class, you have help with this librarian 24 hours a day. Let's go back over to the course homepage. So I've linked you to those things there. I've also given you a link to Purdue OWL vidcasts. The Purdue OWL is an online writing center that is respected internationally, and they have some really high quality videos on basic writing concepts and research concepts, so check them out. I've also linked you to something the college does every semester is lead a series of workshops for free on various things like resume writing, money management. You'd pay a lot of money for a workshop like that in the quote-unquote real world, so check those out. And I am the editor of the school's scholarly journal called Claro, and if I see any really high quality work coming from you this semester, I'll be asking you if I can publish it. But your other instructors might need a nudge, as it says here. So if you do really good quality work in any of your other classes, please get it sent to Claro so we can publish you. A publication looks really good on a resume coming out of community college. So that's sort of the homepage for now. I've given you all your main due dates along the side here, which correspond to all the main assignments as listed in the syllabus. Let's go ahead and go over to content briefly. You have everything for the entire semester is already uploaded. All the assignment sheets, all the readings, all the writing tips, everything. It's organized by important class documents, which would be the syllabus, which we're going to look at in a minute over here, and my take on how you need to submit your work. And then you have general handouts, which would include general writing tips and research tips. And then I've organized it according to the sections of the class. The first section of the class is music. We're writing about music with your first essay. So all the stuff you need there is there, assignment sheets, writing instruction, readings. And then the second section of the class is an inquiry essay, which you'll learn what that means. And then the final section of the class is taking one of your first two essays, probably your inquiry essay, but some people have used their music essay and turning it into something else, like a video or a podcast or a website. So you'll learn more about that later. That's a pretty fun way to end the semester. My students and I have often found that's a little more relaxing than composing a brand new extra third essay. So that's the content area. If we go to the class list, that's where we can all contact each other. In case you've never used D2L and don't know, you can email multiple people by clicking the boxes here and then clicking email. And then a little window will come up, as you'll see. And I might not wait for it to load because my computer's a little slow today. But anyway, trust me on this. If a window loads and lets you email Robert, me, and Brandon. Let's look at discussions. The discussions area, this is where you'll spend most of your time in the class. There's an ungraded area with an introductions post, which I've asked you to do by Tuesday of this week. A Q&A area where you'll go to ask any questions you have, starting with questions about just the course in general or the syllabus. This awesome sauce is just something where you can post, hey, my band is playing Friday night, or I'm going to a poetry slam, let's make it a class field trip, or whatever. Gold Poo Pep Talk, you'll figure out what that is later. Don't worry about it right now. And then these are the graded posts for the class. So your first one is due on the 23rd, and all the instructions are right here. And if you scroll down, you'll see there are about 20 homework posts for the semester, and all the due dates are listed right here. And so hopefully everything will be pretty explanatory. When you click inside of a post, I'll click on this one randomly. The way it works there, again, for those of you who are new to D2L, if you go into this little area, you'll see that I have an instructions post inside. And then you'll load that, and then once you've read that and you feel pretty good about it, you'll go up here and click compose and compose an original response. So that's the discussions area. Dropbox, it's already set up. All your due dates are listed here. These are all your major assignments. The syllabus also lists those assignments and gives you a longer description of each one, but basically you're doing 2 essays and a revision of one of those essays. All of these things here, these 3 assignments, build toward you composing this second essay here. So that's what's going on in the Dropbox. One thing that happens in the Dropbox sometimes, especially if you're new to D2L, is you'll go and you'll submit your file, or you'll think you've submitted it, but really you've only uploaded it, and then you didn't click submit. So make sure that you go back in the Dropbox and check whether your file uploaded, because I don't accept sort of the computer ate my homework thing. So make sure it's there whenever you submit major work. All right, user list. This is your grade book. If there were any grades in here, I would be in major violation of FERPA to show this to you, but there are no grades yet. One thing to know about the grade book is that it's going to track your grade for you as we go through the semester. So every time I put a new grade in, it's going to update your class average and just let you know how you're doing. I really like that feature of the grade book. So you'll go over here and it'll show you your final calculated grade as we go along. So I think that's everything I wanted to show you about the course website. One last thing I wanted to tell you about the discussions area before we move on to the syllabus briefly is that when you are, well, after you have finished making a post response, it's really good practice to go back in maybe a week later, or maybe when I tell you that I'm finished grading it, and look and see what people have said to you. I try to always go in and make some kind of commentary. Your peers are often making really insightful, good commentary to you. And usually when I make commentary, the point of my commentary is to help you write your essay. I have my eye on the prize of helping you make a great essay happen. So if you're not going back into those posts later and looking at what's been said, not even just in response to your post, but in response to other people's posts, you're not getting the most out of the class. That's sort of where the meat of the learning happens, is in those discussions. I'm always going in and trying to increase the understanding, push the understanding forward so that you can all write the best essays possible. So please remember to make it a habit to go back into those later when new posts show up and read through them all. Okay, so that's the rest of the blah, blah, blah about the course site. So let's look at the syllabus, which, by the way, you can find linked, I think, in this first news item, the second news item under the video, or in the content area, which I think I've already X'd out of. So we'll go over here and look at it. Let's view it a little bit bigger, though, and move it over here so you can still see my ugly mug. Oh, whoa, we went full screen with that. Okay, so here's the syllabus. It tells you at the top that, well, actually it doesn't tell you. It should have told you. I'm just noticing a typo. I am not on campus this semester. That's something I meant to write up in here. So the best way to reach me is email, or we can set up a Skype session, but my campus phone number here is pretty much not going to be picked up. Oh, I said calls not picked up. Yay. I have dedicated office hours on Wednesday from 3 to 4. Though this is a real typo. This is wrong. Not Thursday and Tuesday, but Wednesday from 3 to 4 I have a dedicated office hour when you know I'll be there answering your emails or ready to Skype with you. But I can also set up appointments ahead of time with you. Okay, let's go on through. We're not going to read this word for word. I would like you to read it by yourself, and here's my little statement on how I see the course, what I think the course is about, and the most important thing here is that I want you to be the producers and owners of your own process, not passengers and not spectators, but crew and participants of the class. That's my philosophy of teaching, and it's how I view the class, and it also tells you the kind of writing we'll be doing. Now, here's some important stuff. Late work. You really need to keep up with your assignments in my class. I'm not the kind of teacher that just lets late work come in whenever. I give you a freebie, so your major stuff can come in 1 day late with no penalty, but anything after 1 day late gets 10 points off per day, and then after 10 days, I just don't accept it at all. Even if you have really good excuse or something really bad happened, I just 10 days, that's it. So read through this policy. Homework prompts, the discussion area prompts or posts, can't ever be handed in late. Once they're late, they're not accepted. I dropped the lowest one though, and even if you miss 2 or 3 of those, your average should be reasonable at the end of the semester. So here's some more sort of policies for you. Under absences, it mentions that I don't allow incompletes in the class, so make sure you're okay with that going forward. That's kind of a harsh policy, I know. There's a statement here on plagiarism. Make sure you read that. I do not allow rewrites. That's something else you should know. I give you plenty of time to do draft work with your peers, draft work with me, and you can even use the online writing center, which I link you to multiple times within our course site. So once it's handed in, it's handed in. I used to allow rewrites, and it added hours upon hours of work to my workload, and often students didn't really make the best use of the rewrite process. So now it's sort of plan to finish these ahead of time and work on them with me with the Writing Center. And that's what it is. Here are the percentages for each major category. There's 20% for your discussion posts. Peer review is 5% for the 3 different peer reviews we're going to do. Your first essay is 20%, second essay is 15%, and then all these other parts of it are significant. So prospectus is 5%, this little assignment, which is part of it, is 10%, and then the bibliography is 15%. That annotated bibliography is probably the hardest assignment you'll have all semester. So notice when that appears on your schedule, and I would say block out 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time to go ahead and get started on that assignment. That'll be the assignment that'll have you cursing me the most loudly, and we're an online class, so I won't hear you unless you audio record yourself and post it. But I know you're doing it because when I had to do one of those for the first time, I was certainly cursing my teacher. Let's see, there's a little note here on extra credit. So that's what I feel about extra credit and how you can get a little extra credit. And here's the schedule. I want to make sure you get how the schedule works. Please read these notes at the top. It tells you your schedule, and it sort of gives you this little warning about online classes right here. Online classes are notoriously difficult. If you have not taken an online class before, I want you to have a really good, thorough talk with yourself about whether you feel like you're a good fit for an online class. We're not there face-to-face, so that vibe that you can often have in a face-to-face class where I can cheerlead you and help you succeed, that's not necessarily there. It's going to be more on you to keep up with your schedule and remember to even check in with the site on a daily or every other daily basis, and remember what the assignment rhythm is like. So just make sure you're in it to win it before you stay in an online class. It's usually much harder to succeed in a transfer level serious academic class online. Anyway, so here's the schedule. It tells you what's due every week. These titles that are underlined exactly match the titles in the discussion area, so it should be very clear. But here is, all the readings are listed. Your major due dates are listed. Like, for instance, down here, it tells you when your peer review is happening for your first essay. It tells you when your essay's due. So look through that, review that. And I think I might be done yapping at you now. So that's our course. Welcome aboard. Again, I really love the last assignment we do, the revision. People have made some incredible websites and videos out of their essays. That's sort of my favorite assignment right now. But anyway, let me know over here in this Q&A area if you have any questions. And where did that go? That went right there. And otherwise, welcome to the course.